Among the crowd today outside the Phoenix Convention Center where the president was speaking, one man attracted media attention. The man carrying what appeared to be an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle over his shoulder. Arizona has an open carry law, and a police officer said the man was doing absolutely nothing illegally. Paul Helmke, who's president of the Brady campaign, says gun owners should use common sense where they carry such firearms. Paul, good to have you with us.
It's great to be on.
Alan Gottlieb, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation, says there was nothing wrong in what the gun owner did. Good to have you with us, Alan. Let's get to the gun owner himself and hear about why he brought that rifle to that meeting.
I come from another state where open carry is legal, but no one does it, so the police don't really know about it, and they harass people, arrest people falsely, and I think that people need to get out and do it more so that they get kind of conditioned to it.
Alan, your reaction, is that an appropriate, are you comfortable with what the gentleman did?
Well, I'd say not really. I'm all for carrying firearms, I'm all for open carry, but I think there's an appropriate time and place to do so. If I were at that rally, I would think the only reason for me to really have a firearm would be for self-protection. I'm licensed to carry concealed, and I would have had a handgun concealed on my person.
Well, of course, there's a choice. I mean, he could use also as well the same reasoning for his rifle, saying it was for self-defense, could he not? He
could, but when you're in a group with a lot of protests, a lot of street people, a lot of street theater, quite honestly, there's people that are going to look at that and be a little intimidated by it, and I don't think we sell our arguments very well when you intimidate, people on the other side. So I would prefer to keep it concealed, unprotected, and I have the element of surprise on my side.
All right, a tactical response, if you will. Paul, your thoughts?
I mean, this is crazy, what we've been seeing here at these presidential forums. And I'm glad to hear that Alan's got some common sense on this measure, because clearly there's a lot of people out there that don't. To bring a loaded gun, to bring a loaded assault rifle to a venue where the president's showing up, and we saw this in New Hampshire, we saw it again in Phoenix, is just asking for trouble. First of all, you've got to have the Secret Service and law enforcement paying more attention to this person, because they could be a problem. That means it's thinning their ability to have their response.
I'm sorry, just for a second,
okay,
but I neglected to say they were outside the venue, obviously.
Right, but
so please go ahead.
Right, it still requires police and Secret Service to keep an eye on these people, even though they're outside, because it could be some sort of a threat to the president. Secondly, it makes it dangerous, just as Alan said, for the people that are around them. When you're in that kind of a crowd, when you're in that kind of a setting, someone can grab the gun, someone can steal the gun. In the jostling, the gun can be knocked down, and that endangers everyone else. And I think bottom line is basically, do we really want to be the kind of country where you're having a full and free debate on an issue and then someone showing up with a loaded gun? That doesn't help debate, that stifles debate, and I think that's wrong.
Do you agree, Alan?
Well, the problem we really have with Paul Helmke is that his group and organization doesn't think you should have a firearm anywhere, even in your own home. They filed the brief with the U.S. Well, you filed the brief with the U.S. Supreme Court in the Heller case in D.C., arguing that people didn't have a right to have a firearm in their own home for self-protection. So you'd prefer to have nobody have any guns anywhere. Let's be honest about it. This guy was well-dressed. He was a nice African-American gentleman, well-groomed. He wasn't threatening. He didn't hold a gun in a threatening manner. I don't think there was anything dangerous about it. I'm just not sure that it was an appropriate place to do it for being politically smart.
One of the things that the Supreme Court clarified last year when they talked about gun rights, and they said there is a right to have a gun in your home for self-defense, but they said that the right is not unlimited, that restrictions are allowed, and I think the crucial part here is that there are responsibilities that go with gun ownership. And I think when someone is bringing a loaded gun with the open carry particularly to a venue like this, whether the president's there or not, I think we're just asking for a tragedy to occur.
Yeah. Well, see, again, Paul, you think anybody having a gun of any kind anywhere is waiting for a tragedy to occur. You use those lines all the time. The problem is that it was peaceful. The police had no problem with it whatsoever, and the man was totally legal within his rights.
Well, actually, I've talked to some of the reporters that were there. There were at least 12 or 13 guns being carried openly at the thing in Phoenix today, which I don't think is a healthy situation. A lot of people don't realize, actually, there are only 6 states in the country, I believe, that restrict open carry. Open carry is legal in most states. And I think when people realize some of the folks out there that are carrying guns, it does get them worried. I'm not anti-gun. But there are responsibilities. There are responsibilities that go with gun ownership, and that's the crucial thing. I was a mayor, Republican mayor, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've been to these things. So
I'm sorry. I just really want to hear that again. You're not anti-gun?
I don't consider myself anti-gun. I came to this issue as a law and order issue when I was a Republican mayor in Fort Wayne, Indiana, from 1988 till 2000. Well, we make it too easy for dangerous people to get guns, and that's the problem here.
Well, we're having a discussion here, Alan, and I want to get both of your reaction to this. You know, we're hearing Alan Gottlieb, who is an ardent advocate for the right to bear arms, saying that he does not agree with the gentleman's decision to carry a rifle. And what would you go so far as to say you should support, Alan, a law that would restrict guns within a certain distance of the president?
No, I think, quite honestly, the gentleman was in his rights to do so. I'm not sure some things are always politically smart to do it. I think it probably wasn't the most appropriate venue to do it in. But if it was up to Paul Helmke, nobody could do it anywhere, and that's the difference.
All right. And Paul, we're talking about a dozen people, open carry, near the venue.
Right.
But nothing happened, and you are immediately taking this to another level, at least in your rhetoric. Do you think that there is any room here to say they were making a point? It's a matter of expression as well as their Second Amendment rights.
There's a lot of other ways they could make their argument for defense of the Second Amendment. They can carry a sign, they can yell and scream all they want. When they bring a loaded assault rifle into that kind of a public venue, so close to the president, I think they're causing a lot of problems. You know, we could look at a state like Texas if you wanted to find a way to deal with this. Texas is one of the states that does not allow open carry, and in Texas, for handguns. And for long guns, they say you can't have open carry if you're bringing it into a situation.
Texas provides concealed carry.
Right.
Correct.
Almost
Paul,
48 states provide.
Paul, but you oppose concealed carry, too. You oppose any kind of carry.
My problem is that we allow too many people to take weapons in the public.
Do you oppose any kind of carry?
No, we want to make sure that the people that are getting the weapons and carrying the weapons have been checked out to make sure that they're not the sorts that are going to cause problems with these weapons.
Like the person, is checked out.
Yeah,
like the person, those laws.
Like the person who killed the people at the gym outside of Pittsburgh, concealed carry permit. Like the folk, like the guy in Pittsburgh that killed the cops, concealed carry permit.
Paul, why do you admit that you don't support concealed carry permits?
Concealed carry works real well in states where local law enforcement has a chance to check the person out ahead of time.
That's the case in every venue.
No, it isn't.
Paul, you just don't support concealed carry in any form, fashion, anywhere.
We make it too easy for dangerous people to get guns, Alan. That's the bottom line here, and I think particularly
you think anybody is too dangerous to have a gun?
I'm curious what Lou thinks about this. Lou, do you think people should be bringing their guns to venues like this?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to register an opinion. You two are in a debate. I'm going to let you guys sort it out. But let me just put it this way. I believe in the individual rights of our Constitution 100%. And I believe, you know, that those, you know, that Constitution exists for a reason. And I think it's straightforward.
But we allow restrictions on First Amendment rights. You can't have obscenity. You can't have libel. You can't yell fire in the crowded theater.
You can't misuse a firearm either. You can't commit a crime with one.
But this is why
wait a minute. Are you saying that because I support the Constitution of the United States, I'm somehow supporting unlawful activity?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just simply saying to you, I cherish the Constitution.
I do, too.
I believe in that Bill of Rights ardently, and I will fight as hard for someone else's rights as I will for my own.
I do, too. I agree with you totally, Lou. We need to realize that those rights have some restrictions on them. Justice Scalia made that very clear when he talked about the Second Amendment last year.
And did we sense any sort of restriction on the authority of the municipality as well?
The Justice Scalia said that...
No, what Justice Scalia said. Did not the court rule that there was a limitation to the municipality?
They struck down the gun laws in Washington, D.C.
A happy instance of balance in our democratic republic.
And we need a little more balance, and the folks today weren't showing it when they carried their weapons near the president there.
With which I believe Alan Gottlieb agreed with you. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank
Paul,
you.
thank you,
Thank
Alan.
you, Lou.
Lisa Sylvester has an update now on the other important